Alright, so Zenless Zone Zero recently had its patch 2.0 live stream, and players are losing their minds over this thing, okay? So it's time to find out if this anniversary patch is really as good as people are acting like. Or if maybe some folks are losing their heads over this new anniversary patch because it's a Hoyoverse anniversary, which sometimes can be a little bit on the stingy side. I will be critical of Zenless Zone Zero in this video because I kinda have to be, right? That's how I set up the premise of this video, but do please try to remember when I did make that video a little while ago about how Zenless Zone Zero fixed itself, so I do enjoy and like this game. Constructive criticism is not a negative thing, guys. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and go over all the things that are going to be coming to us in this patch. All the good things, all the things we care about, all the things we wanted, all the things that are kind of just mid and average. Okie dokie, now let's start with a fun one. Zenless Zone Zero will be giving players 33 pulls, as well as a standard banner 5-star selector and a standard banner W engine selector. In case any of y'all are new to the game, W engines are basically put in place where, like most gachas or RPGs would have a weapon slot, a stat stick with some added buffs essentially. And this is pretty cool and helpful for a lot of new players coming to the game. Veterans, not necessarily as much. Still good, but like maybe not as good as it seems on surface level after you look into a couple of things. Again, still good, but let's go over a couple of things here. It should be mentioned that 10 of those pulls aren't even coming until after the Void Hunter's banner. You know, Yi Xuan, the Void Hunter, super OP character, like might be better than Miyabi, who knows, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, thanks for that, Hoyo, because pulling a Genshin Impact on us during the Zenless Zone Zero anniversary just so happens to be on my Hoyo Goof Ups bingo card. Like, y'all remember that, right? Mavuika and Sitlali banners ran simultaneously, and then they give players 10 pulls after the banners end. It's the same thing, brother. They apologized and they turned around to the same thing, just in a different game. And oh, you'll say it's a different dev team. Dude, Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero, it's different dev teams, man. Bro, these decisions were made by the management team, by the way, and they work in the same building, brother. Okay, it should go something like this. All right, listen to this, okay? Hey, fellow Hoyoverse co-worker Dave. Yo, sup, Dave here. Yeah, sup, Dave? So, that stunt we pulled in Genshin didn't go so well, so maybe don't do that in Zenless Zone Zero, okay? Oh, dang. Good looking out. Thanks for the tip, fellow Hoyoverse co-worker. Ching! With a little smile and a sunglass like shing on the end of it. That simple. Literally that simple. Literally 10 seconds, but nah, they actually said clip it and ship it, bro. Okay, now remember this, y'all. The apologies they make with their words mean nothing. The apologies they make with their actions mean everything. Now, that being said, 23 pulls during the first banner is still good. Another 10 later isn't exactly the end of the world. Basically, it's just okay. Average, good, not great, appreciated, but nothing too special. For Hoyoverse, is actually kind of a huge one, though, not gonna lie. They're notoriously stingy during their anniversaries, so this is kind of a bigger one for them. So giving this many things, like during a reward, seems huge, but for anyone who has had the pleasure of playing any non-Hoyoverse game, they would immediately know that most of the gachas dunk on Hoyoverse anniversary rewards like daily. Nikke, for example, give out so many pulls in a game with way better drop rates, by the way, that players in Nikke are walking out of the anniversary with like 4 copies of the newest character. You might think that's a joke. No, I literally did that, and I was barely even playing the game, barely even trying, still did it. So keep that in mind. 33 pulls is big for a Hoyo game, but just kind of average compared to everyone else that isn't in like the big 4. Again, this is good. I'm just trying to point things out and put them into perspective. I think we should see this as a good thing in the end, though. Taking steps in the right direction should be seen in a more positive light than a negative light, so this is a W in the end. Real quick on the standard selectors, I think it's overall good as well, but at least for the character selector, it's a bit on the late side. Besides Lycan on the standard roster, most of them have all fallen off like super duper hard, bro. It's appreciated and will definitely help new players a lot, but I think the 5-star standard selector should have been dropped like way sooner, dude. I understand they probably planned this anniversary reward like from day one probably, and it's just an unfortunate power creep situation where it came upon them a little bit too fast, but it's Zenless Zone Zero's fault. The power creep exists in the first place, so it's 100% on them, bro. And yes, ZZZ has power creep. It's not as bad as Honkai Star, okay, but don't act like it's not there, okay? Look at Miyabi. Just one look at just glance in her direction one time and then try to tell me that power creep isn't a thing in the game. Like, seriously, if you think there's no Zenless Zone Zero power creep, come back to me around the 2nd anniversary, like a year from now, just like Honkai Star Rail is in right now, dealing with their power creep situation, and then let me know if power creep ain't an issue in ZZZ. Spoilers, it's an issue. We got over 50% HP inflation since Miyabi dropped, and characters have been releasing in order to keep up with that, brother. Is it an issue? Can we still clear? It's not a big issue quite yet, unless you're maybe like a new player or something like that, but it's going to only get worse from here, dude. We got a Void Hunter about to drop, bro. HP inflation and power creep are only going to get worse from here on out. But as far as the W engine is concerned, I think this is a W. Pun intended, maybe not, felt cute, might delete. But anyway, seriously though, even veterans don't pull on the W engines every single time, dog. I, for example, have not pulled on a single W engine banner on purpose. I did it once by accident. Swear to God, it was an accident. Just 110 pull, I accidentally goofed up. But I'd rather pull, though, for characters rather than these W engines, right? Sure, maybe I could have grabbed one or two. Maybe I regret that, but it's whatever. My point is that everyone pulls like crazy on these character banners, but not necessarily on the W engine banners. So even though some of us have gotten W engines that they've lost on 50/50s, looking at my Brimstone over here, but I still think this is a win in the end. So overall, looking pretty good for ZZZ's anniversary so far. Now real quick, since she was briefly mentioned earlier, Yishuan will release with a special skin. Now, God, I really hope I'm saying that name right. Like, I know I sometimes troll you guys by saying the names wrong, like on purpose every once in a while. I'm actually trying to say them right this time around, okay? But this patch is straight up gonna make me feel illiterate, like actually greedy and stupid. Anyways, it reminds me of Astra Yao's skin, the new skin for the new Void Hunter. She's releasing with a black skin very similar to Astra Yao's, and to be honest, the skin's kind of just okay? If I'm going to put down real life money on a skin, I want it to blow me the fuck away, okay? And this doesn't do that. The original skin, in my opinion, legitimately looks better, probably because you can see the ass a little bit better, in my opinion. But anyways, that's just my opinion. Do what you want to do what makes you happy. If you want that skin, go for it. No hate, no foul, okay? To be honest, I think it just goes to show how good her original skin really was. The main character will also be getting some new skins, and I think it's an improvement, right? That's something we didn't need, but like, it's genuinely cool. I think it's fun. I think it's nice. It'll help in like make cutscenes and stuff like that cooler. Definitely a W. I also think some other quality of life improvements we have coming that are pretty good include like the new and improved mini map to make it easier to navigate and get around, a rework of the travel interface to make navigation easier, and improved optimization of button layouts across platforms. It's not necessarily much, that other stuff I was mentioning, but I actually think these little things are really going to add up and make this patch and all the new quality of life features coming to us a big deal. Like folks like Tectone and Genozad, for example, think the UI and menu suck donkey nuts. Like really, they are out there putting on a clinic, bro. They are sucking these nuts so hard, and it's true, they're horrifically bad. On top of that, the traversal can sometimes be a mess. It's just a mess. The traversal in this game is bad. If these characters' asses didn't look as good as they did, I'd seriously be so annoyed by going to the wrong spot, but then I get to look at their butt again while I walk to the right spot. And I gotta point this out. I think that Zenless Zone Zero took some inspiration from a previous Hoyoverse title, Honkai Impact 3rd, in several ways, but specifically in this case with the UI. Bro, that was one of the worst parts of Honkai Impact. Forget the outdated graphics and the outdated systems, bro. The new Honkai Impact players that start the game immediately quit after starting the game because they get bombarded with a million notifications and no sense of how to navigate any of them. They are immediately overwhelmed by the bad UI and pop-ups, and bro, they can't even start the game for like 20-30 minutes. It's a joke. Zenless Zone Zero should have just stuck to yoinking some of the Honkai Impact 3rd combat ideas and call it a day. Anyways, that's far from trying to make an excuse on their behalf. I'm just pointing out why I think this happened in Zenless Zone Zero. Now, let's move on. Hollows will also be easier to explore with a new system that acts as an upgraded checkpoint system with supply points as well. And they wanted to add this little bit right here, I guess, but some enemies will be able to activate a new combat mechanic called the Miasma and Corruption. You should experience a tutorial in the game to help explain these new features in real time, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. In fact, me mentioning it here doesn't really help you all that much, except that you know it's coming. But enemies will potentially be able to put on miasma shields and other things like that. Trust me, the tutorial will help you out in real time. Now on to the characters. We got 3 new characters coming to us in the form of Yishuan, Jufufu, and the Panda Bro. You know Pan Yinhu. Did I say that right? Did I say any of those names right? Somebody let me know if I said any of those names right. Dude, why couldn't you have just named them Carl or something? I'm being stupid. Anyways, Kung Fu Panda is being voiced by Jack Black because duh, that's who voices Kung Fu Panda, obviously. But for real, Yishuan, am I saying that name right too? Forget it. The Void Hunter is going to be insane. Pull her if you care about the meta, as well as she's bringing a new element into the game. She's also hot as can be, just pointing that out. And she has the same color scheme as Trigger and Silver Ambi for some reason. Remember Miyabi, by the way? Yeah, more of the same. Power creep activated, bro. Yeah. Oh, and she's into anal on Saturday nights after a few apple martinis. Don't ask me how I know that. With Ju Fufu, by the way, pull her if you like her, or she works on a team you are investing in, or whatever. Otherwise, how the heck is she supposed to compete with the pull power of a Void Hunter sitting right next to her on the same patch? Like, oh, that's kind of, ooh, man, that's rough. I'm not even dissing. I'm literally not even dissing. I think Ju Fufu or Ju Fufu, whatever her name is totally justified. I just think it's like, how are you supposed to pick, like, if you have to pick one, you're picking the Void Hunter, right? Jesus Christ. Now for the frickin' Pan Yin-Hu, whatever his the Kung Fu Panda, obviously it's a must pull, okay? You pull the Kung Fu Panda, duh, obviously. Meta, who cares? He's voiced by Jack Black, god damn it. He could gargle the enemy's nutsack during combat for all I care. Bro is a pull in my book. Oh, he's a 4-star? The others are the 5 stars? Well, duh. Could you imagine if they released Kung Fu Panda at full power, Ultra Instinct Panda? Are you insane? Power creep is already starting and you want to release a panda that is 69 times stronger than Miyabi? Dude, 420 times better than Ellen Joe, okay? See, this is why you guys aren't the devs. You guys are merely players. You guys just don't understand. So anyway, Astra Yao and Caesar are the rerun characters, and I think unless you need Caesar for a specific team, she's probably a skip. And Astra Yao, of course, is a pull. She is the best sustained buffer in the game and works in basically any situation you could possibly be in. But if they're dropping 2 sustainers as reruns who ran at different times, so this isn't a matter of a rerun scheduling thing, well, they're probably going to be dropping a good new sustainer soon that will power creep Caesar and maybe even Astra. Is it scummy? Yes. But this is Hoyoverse, and they do this literally all the time. It's a pattern for them, okay? Now, yeah, Kung Fu Panda is a defense agent, and jokes aside, I think they're probably saving a seat for a 5-star down the line. Just a possible suggestion, okay? Just something to think about, okay? I have no actual confirmation of this. I'm just going off of trends and patterns that Hoyoverse have used in the past. But anyways, in the end, you guys gotta do what makes you happy. Pull who you like. And speaking of Ellen Junk in the Trunk fans, she's getting a buff. So Ellen Joe, yo, hey, let's be honest. She's not going to be able to touch Miyabi. Let's just be real here, okay? Right? But Ellen Joe fans, I hope this helps. Anyways, we're also getting 2 new drive discs. Obviously, one of them is for the new character with the new element, so save some stamina and save some of those tickets you get from the weekly domain thing, you know what I'm saying? I think it comes from maybe Hollow Zero, whatever the heck it is, you know, to use on the new set when it drops. Kinda sucks we can't pre-farm it, though. But this is common for new characters from new areas, even in non-Hoyoverse games. Gravitational Attraction and Holographic Onslaught Arena are 2 events coming in the patch that sound like they'll bring something fun for players to do after they complete the main story. And yes, we get new main story, a new area to explore, which means more chests, etc., meaning more polychrome for pulls, making this a very good pull patch as far as Zenless Zone Zero is concerned. The fact that the anniversary falls in the main story patch really helps Hoyoverse dish out those rewards, because we get the new areas and chests and new story, etc., and all that, so they don't actually really have to dish out the rewards if they're sort of already in the game, right? I think if it fell on a filler patch, like what happened with Wuthering Waves, I think it would have been met with a similar negative sentiment. Now, I need to address this briefly here, even though I feel like I kind of missed my window, but people were on my case about the Wuthering Waves anniversary drama, so here goes. Bro, I was busy. Like, hello? Like, look at my recent uploads, bro. For like months, I was like, boom, 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 like every single day, upload, boom, 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 and all of a sudden, whoosh, nothing, like nothing anymore. What do you think I was doing? Hiding from the anniversary drama? Bro, I traveled with my cousin on 2 different trips. I went to Dream State, San Francisco. I went to Coachella down in Southern California. I got sick for weeks, bro. And my house is being demoed. My house is getting renovated. I have some IRL stuff going on. Bro, I'm still sick, as well as working on some other stuff for the channel up in the back end. And then I got the Ethereum Restart beta that I played fully, by the way. Wailed the heck out of that game. Daily refreshes, PvP, the whole lot. We're getting prepped for June 5th when it releases, so stay tuned for the content for that. And bro, what a nothing burger. Dude, the Wuthering Waves Anniversary was not god tier as far as rewards go, but it wasn't bad either. Quality of life editions, rewards weren't too bad, and they gave us some more because you guys wouldn't stop complaining about it. And it was just kind of average, wasn't it? It was really just very average. Would I have covered it if I was in town? Yeah, of course, but would I have turned it into a hit piece bashing the game like it was Black Beacon or Infinity Nikke or Love and Deep Space? Hell no! I would have been honest and said it was just kind of mediocre as hell, and I wasn't going to wow anyone with that, you know what I mean? I think they lined it up really, really badly with the anniversary dropping on a filler patch? On a filler patch? Kuro, what were you thinking? I genuinely think that's the biggest issue with the Wuthering Waves Anniversary. It was just way too average to be placed on a filler patch where there's no story or any like new chests and stuff like that to open, so the rewards seemed like kind of mid in comparison to some of the other stuff they have going on. Because it was, and that really, really held it back. And that's my take, which is similar to Zenless Zone Zero. And to be honest, the entire big four gacha games that are at the top are like this. Most of the top gacha anniversaries are kind of mid, bro. If Honkai Star Rail wasn't on damage control because of players, literally over 1 million players leaving their game, they would not have given out crazy awards like they did. And it would have just been another average anniversary patch. Look at Honkai Star Rail's first anniversary, for example, when everyone was happy with the game. Dude, it was good. It was appreciated, but compared to other gachas, average, dog, average. So, is Zenless Zone Zero's anniversary really that good? Well, actually, kind of, yeah. For Zenless Zone Zero and for Hoyo and for one of the top 4 big gachas that are on the top of the scene, including Wuthering Waves, and don't really need to try as hard as the other gachas that are popular and don't really need to impress their players because they're already there to stay. Well, this was actually pretty good if you look at it that way, but compared to other gachas that are constantly trying to attract new players, well, it's kind of average, to be honest. And I know we did take a lot of shots at Zenless Zone Zero in this one, but it's fair and deserved, and we could have been harsher, to be honest. We can be tough critics and still enjoy the game. In fact, some of the toughest critics are oftentimes the biggest fans. We try to cover most of the important things in this video, but let me know in the comments if you think there's anything important that we maybe have missed in the video, and let me know if you're excited about this anniversary patch. Let me know if you're pulling the hot booty Void Hunter, or if you're just too based for that. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.